Okay, so the first experiment in this thermal lab is you have to determine the aim of this experiment is you have to determine thermal conductivity of a good conductor using Searle apparatus. Okay. So in last class, I have told you the mechanism of heat transfer is basically depend on three types of processes: conduction, convection, and radiation. In general, in solids, the heat is transferred from point A to point B by the mode of conduction. While in liquid and in while in liquids
एक्सक्यूज
and
मी
in
सर
fluids, yes,
एक्सक्यूज मी सर सर आप
yes,
कुछ लिख
yes.
रहे हो स्क्रीन पे?
नहीं अभी नहीं लिख रहा हूँ.
ओके सर.
तो कंडक्शन की बात थी कि सॉलिड्स में जो हीट ट्रांसफर होगा, द मोड ऑफ हीट ट्रांसफर इन केस ऑफ सॉलिड्स is generally done by the conduction, while convection takes place in case of liquids and in fluids. While radiation basically does not require any medium, and with the help of radiation, the heat can be transferred from point A to point B without any medium. So basically, in this experiment, we have to determine the thermal conductivity of a good conductor. Okay. More specifically, the good conductor which we will be using is a metallic rod, that is a copper rod. So before going into the details of Searle's apparatus, I want to discuss what do we mean by thermal conductivity. Okay. So basically, thermal conductivity of any material is a measure of, by definition, thermal conductivity of any material is a measure of its ability to conduct heat. Okay. How much heat a conductor can transport or transfer. So more is the thermal conductivity, it is defined by K. More is the magnitude of K, better will be the, you can say, a conductor, and vice versa. So metals are very good conductor of heat, so you can say the thermal conductivity, the coefficient of conductivity K will be higher in case of metal. So we are expecting a high value of thermal conductivity in this case. Okay. And if I talk about this thermal conduction, then thermal conduction, you can say, is defined as transport of energy due to, you can see in case of conduction, the transport of energy is because of the due to random molecular motion. स्कूल लेवल में आपने पढ़ा होगा, of course, molecular motion across a temperature gradient. There must be a temperature gradient from point A to point B, and then the heat energy will be transported from point A to point B to the lower temperature, owing to the transfer of energy because of this random molecular motion. So let's say you have a metallic rod, and there is a temperature difference, there is a temperature gradient between point A and point B. And let's say the temperature of point A is greater than temperature B. So in this case, the heat transfer will be from point A to point B. Okay. And how this heat will transfer? This will transfer actually because of the random molecular motion. So for example, the molecule at point this A, at this A. So if you start heating point A, then this molecule will start oscillating on its own, on its mean position because of the thermal energy. Okay. It will start oscillating with high amplitude at its mean point. So this oscillations, or you can say these molecular vibrations, will be transferred to the neighboring molecule. Okay. The energy, the kinetic energy, the vibrational energy, you can say, will be transferred from this molecule to this molecule, and from this molecule to this molecule, and so on. So you can say heat is being transferred from high temperature point, high temperature body, high temperature point A to low temperature point B through the mode of conduction. A similar thing will happen in our experiment. We will be heating one side of this copper rod. We will be providing heat energy to one side of this copper rod, and this heat will be transferred, will travel through this rod in this direction. And then by some indirect means, we will measure this quantity of heat transfer, or you can say quantity of heat energy on side B. We will start giving heat energy to A. That heat energy will travel through this rod, and we will somehow calculate the magnitude of this heat energy which is being transferred from point A to point B through some mechanism, which we will see later. Okay, and with the help of some calculations and some formulas, we will arrive at a magnitude of this heat energy, and with that help and of course some parameters, we will find at last the value of K, thermal conductivity K, thermal conductivity of this metal through which heat transfer has taken place. Okay. So in this cell setup, I will briefly describe what is cell setup and how we will measure the amount of heat transferred and how we can relate that amount of heat transfer with the thermal conductivity coefficient K. Suppose we start heating this side A with a steam chamber. Suppose this side A of this rod, this is copper rod. The side A of this copper rod is inserted into a steam chamber, let's say. Okay. And in this steam chamber, there is a steam inlet and there is a steam outlet. Constantly, a steam is being inserted into this chamber and it is led to escape. Then this steam will heat this side A of this metallic rod Cu. Then this heat will start traveling across this metallic rod. Okay. This heat will start traveling across this metallic rod. And okay, before going into detail, I just want to establish some identities, or you can say some properties. See, the thermal conductivity is directly proportional to area of cross section, right? More is the area of cross section of the conductor, more will be the conductivity. Similarly, thermal conductivity is inversely proportional to the length of conductor. More is the length of conductor, less will be the thermal conductivity. So on area, thermal conductivity directly depends, while thermal conductivity inversely depends on the length of the conductor. And of course, a very important point, this thermal conductivity is directly proportional to the temperature gradient. Means the difference in the temperature at point A this difference actually dictates the magnitude of thermal conductivity. More is the temperature difference between A and B, more of the heat will be transferred from point A to point B. These three proportionality are actually very basic and are easy to understand. So the amount of heat energy transferred, from these relations, I can say heat energy transferred will be equal to, now I am replacing these proportionality sign with equal to, and I am writing a proportionality constant K, A divided by T divided by D and delta T. Now, if you can see this formula of heat energy transferred, the amount of heat energy transferred from point A to point B will be equal to K, that is your coefficient of thermal conductivity, A that is your area of conductor, d is the length of conductor, and delta T is the temperature difference between point A and point B. Okay. Okay. So let's say over whole of this specimen, I just want to see the effect of this, see this transfer of this heat on this point, and let's say on this point. So my consideration is that I am considering this distance as my d, where d is the distance between this. You can say d is the length of the conductor, while this is my area of cross section. This is my area of cross section, A. So if I need to find the amount of heat energy transferred, the first thing I need is I need d, area of the length of the specimen, and I need A, area of cross section of the specimen, and I need, of course, I need delta T, where delta T can be simply measured as the difference in the temperature at these points. If I insert thermometers at these 2 points, if I take observation of temperature on these 2 points and I mark them T1 and T2, then simply delta T will be equal to T1 minus T2. जैसे इस केस में था delta T will be equal to T1 minus T2. Okay, fine. So till now what we have done is we have taken a rod, a copper rod. One side of this copper rod is inserted into a steam chamber, and a constant flow of steam is allowed to pass through this steam chamber. And this steam will start heating this end A of the rod. Okay. This heat will transfer from point A. The heat energy will start transferring from point A to point B. Now, the second task of this experiment is to measure the amount of heat energy you can say receiving at end A, receiving at end B, कि B end पे कितना heat energy पहुंच रहा है. For that, what I can do is I can simply use a coaxial tubes in which I will flow water. Okay, इस एंड पे कोएक्सियल ट्यूब्स लपेटी हुई है, and I am circulating cold water from one end, and I am receiving, of course, hot water from another end of this tube. So basically what is happening is when you are allowing cold water to flow in the neighborhood of this B side, then this water will absorb some heat energy. Okay, and this hot water will take out some heat energy from point B. So, and of course, the amount of heat energy absorbed by this water, I will write this side now. Amount of heat energy absorbed by flowing water will be equal to the mass of the water, which is being circulated into this tubes, specific heat of the water, and the delta T, where this delta T is actually the difference in the temperature created of this cold water and this hot water. So basically you can say this heat energy absorbed by the flowing water will be equal to M, that is mass of the water circulated, S, the specific heat of the water, and delta T, the difference in the temperature of inlet water and outlet water created because of the absorption of heat. Inlet water, outlet water. Okay, so let's say inlet water, cold water which you are inserting has temperature T3. Okay, you can measure that temperature. In our setup we have provision that we can measure this temperature T3. Similarly, we can also measure the temperature of exhausting water, or you can say outlet water, which I am calling as T4. So whatever the amount of water into specific heat of water into T3 minus T4, this quantity will give me the magnitude of heat energy absorbed by this flowing water. Okay, so these are two expressions, two different expressions. This is the amount of heat energy absorbed by the water, and this is the, on my right hand side, this is the heat energy transferred from point A to point B because of the temperature gradient. Okay, so we will see. Okay, next what we can do is, okay, उसको दोबारा बना लेते हैं. This was our road. On end A, we are constantly giving heat energy. Heat energy in, you can say, and from this, by the means of water, by the means of help of water, we are, the heat energy is being escaped. Okay, and of course we are considering the transfer of heat energy between these 2 points. So suppose this process I continue to let it happen. I am continuously giving heat energy to this point A, and I am continuously taking out this heat energy from point B. Then after some time, what will happen? The amount of heat energy given will be equal to the amount of heat energy escaped, or you can say absorbed by the water. Heat out. So heat in will be equal to heat out after some time. Okay, and this particular thing is actually called thermal equilibrium. Okay, so means this particular, at this instant, when the amount of heat energy entering into this rod is exactly equal to the amount of heat energy escaping from this rod by the means of flow of water, that point is called thermal equilibrium. Okay. At point of thermal equilibrium, the temperature, okay, let's say the temperature of inletting water is T3, and let's say temperature of outletting water is T4, and temperature, this was temperature T1 and this was temperature T2. So from this figure what I can feel is, if you start giving heat energy to site A, it will start increasing the temperature T1. Then after some time, as the heat energy progresses towards this end, towards lower temperature, T2 will also start rising. We have already started the flow of water. T3 will remain constant because that is coming from outside, that water is coming from outside, which is kept at a room temperature, let's say 30 degrees. So the T3 will not change much. But T4 will also start rising after some time. T4 will also start rising after some time because now the flowing water is absorbing, has started to absorb some heat energy which is traveling from point A to point B. So with time, the temperature on T1, T2, T3, T4 will start changing. Okay, let's say initially in our experiment, initially at 0 minutes, T1 has some readings, T2 has some readings, T3, T4 has some readings. Now with time, let's say after 3 minutes, we have again measured the temperature on these thermometers. This T1 has risen. Of course, this will rise. Then later on, T2 will rise, then T3 will rise, then T4 will rise. And so, okay, T3 will remain constant. T3 experimentally should remain constant. But yes, sometimes it absorbs some heat from the this tubes, and it can slightly increase. The temperature of this T3 can also slightly increase. So after some time, this heat equation is actually balancing itself. The amount of heat energy which you are giving to site A has some particular magnitude. But yes, of course, after some time it will attain a thermal equilibrium, and then at this point of thermal equilibrium, this heat energy which is being given to site A is exactly be equal to heat energy which is being escaped because of this flowing water. At that point, all the temperatures, all the temperature on all the thermometers will attain a constant value. Will attain a constant value. That means कैसे देखना है constant कैसे हो गया? 3 मिनट्स में मेजर किया, एक टेबल बना लिया, 0 मिनट पे सारे थर्मोमीटर्स का ऑब्जर्वेशन लिया, 3 मिनट्स पे लिया, 6 मिनट्स पे लिया, 9 मिनट्स पे लिया, चेंज होता रहेगा वो. So after 30 minutes or 40 minutes or 45 minutes, they will start remaining constant. जैसे 39 मिनट पे सपोज कुछ वैल्यूज आई है चारों थर्मोमीटर्स में, 42 मिनट्स में भी वो सेम वैल्यूज रही है, 45 मिनट्स में भी वो सेम वैल्यू रही है. That means if for 3 consecutive set of observations, if temperature on T1, T2, T3, T4 is remaining constant, that means we have achieved at the condition of thermal equilibrium. Okay, now at this point, the heat energy given is exactly equal to the heat energy escape. This point is called thermal equilibrium from physics point of view, and the same point is called steady state from engineering point of view. Okay, steady state हो गया means सारे टेम्परेचर, सारे थर्मोमीटर्स पे टेम्परेचर कांस्टेंट हो गया है, दैट इज स्टेडी स्टेट आ गया है. ओके, अभी कहीं से हीट जितना भी है कोई एब्रप्टली चेंज नहीं हो रहा है. So we will be working on this steady state. Okay, we have to attain this steady state, and then after this steady state, now suppose this rod is at steady state and all the temperature are fixed now or are constant now. We are continuously giving heat to this side and we are continuously absorbing heat from this side. Okay, and the amount of heat energy given at this point is exactly equal to the amount of heat energy absorbed from opposite end. So at this point, if you can relate these equations, this is amount of heat energy absorbed by the water, and this is amount of heat energy transferred from point A to point B. So at point of equilibrium, at point of thermal equilibrium, I can relate these two expressions. Okay, I can relate these two expressions. So my heat transfer expression was something like this: K A T1 minus T2 divided by D. Okay, and my heat out expression, the amount of heat absorbed by the water expression, was M into S into T3 minus T4. Okay, this M is the mass of water collected per unit time. This is the mass of water collected per unit time during thermal equilibrium. During thermal equilibrium, this is the mass of the water collected per unit time. So I am also adding a factor of T here, M by T actually. So M by T is nothing. M by T is the flow of rate of water. Okay, how much mass of water is flowing per unit of time. So if I reshuffle these terms, then we have to find this value K. Now you can see easily we have this A, area of cross section. We have this temperature difference T1 minus T2 at steady state at thermal equilibrium. This difference T1 minus T2. We have D, that is the distance between these temperatures at points at consideration. Let's say this is O, this is O dash. So D is the distance between O and O dash. Where M by T, okay, S is a specific heat of water. You can find easily. You must be aware of this as specific heat of water. T3 minus T4 is the temperature difference between inletting water and outletting water at the point of thermal equilibrium. Okay, and M by T is the measure of flow of rate of water. How much flow of water is taking place per unit of time. So you can see from this expression, from this equation now, all the quantities can be deduced experimentally. Okay, we can find A, we can find D, we can find the temperature difference between these two thermometers, between these 2 points O and O dash during thermal equilibrium. We have specific heat, we have temperature difference between inletting water and outletting water at thermal equilibrium, and we have of course M by T. This outletting water we can measure. This outletting water we have to measure the mass of this outletting water with respect to time. We will use a stopwatch and we will start measuring the mass of the water collected of this outletting water. So if we have all the quantities, we can simply calculate the value of K such that M by T into S into T3 minus T4 divided by A multiplied by D. रीअरेंज कर लिया सारी टर्म्स को एक साथ ले आया. तो this K is basically the coefficient of thermal conductivity which you were supposed to find. Okay.
सर T1 minus T2 भी तो आएगा.
Yes, sorry, T1 minus T2 भी आएगा. बिल्कुल ठीक बात है, T1 minus T2. Okay. So you can see on right hand side all the variables can be calculated, can be observed experimentally, and by using this expression we can find the coefficient of thermal conductivity. Okay, so we will see now the actual setup. We have now some basic idea about this experiment, how the heat transfer will take place, how we are going to measure the amount of heat transfer, and how we will be deducing the coefficient of thermal conductivity from these parameters. Okay, so now I will show you how to perform actual experiment. Okay. See, now you can analyze this thing. This is your Searles apparatus actually. This on my left hand side is the view of Searles apparatus as a whole. This actually in between, this is your copper rod. This is your copper rod. This is the steam chamber which I was talking about. There are two holes in this steam chamber, one for steam inlet and one for steam outlet. जो steam outlet है वो नीचे की तरफ है, ये steam inlet है. So steam will come, we will generate steam by heating water, and we will force that steam to go into this chamber, and this after heating this chamber, this steam will pass expel from this other end. And if this steam chamber has steam in it, has flow of steam, then it will start, this steam will start giving its energy to this side of rod, copper rod, and let's mark this side as A, side A. Okay, so basically with this help of steam, what we are doing is we are increasing, we are heating the side A of this rod. Now this heat energy will start traveling from this side A to this side B. Now this B side is at room temperature, okay, but this A side is, the temperature of this A side is increased. So heat will transfer from high temperature to low temperature, and hence heat energy will transport from this end, from this A end to end B. Okay. For simplification or to remove edge effects, what we call them as edge effects, we are only considering this part of specimen. Okay, these are actually hole drilled in this copper rod, and this is my thermometer 1, this is my thermometer 2. So this is actually T1 and T2. I have to measure the distance between this T1 and T2. Okay, that will give me the value of parameter D. Similarly, the area of cross section can be found very easily with the help of vernier caliper of this rod. Okay, we can find diameter, and with that diameter we can find area of cross section of this rod. So from outside, this Searles apparatus looks like this. In this right hand side, on my right hand side, you can see this is the inlet for steam, this is the outlet for steam, and this steam is being passed through this steam chamber, and this is heating this rod, and this is my temperature thermometer 1 T1, this is my thermometer T2, and on the right hand side now you can see this is the coil which I was talking about. From this coil the water will flow. Okay, this is, suppose this is the inlet of water and that is the outlet of water. So from this end B, you are actually absorbing the heat which is being traveled from side B. So a continuous water flow will be there. You will apply a continuous water flow from this point, and this is your, you can say this is inlet, water inlet, and below one is water outlet, and both on both these outlets in inlets you are placing a thermometer. So inlet pipe has thermometer named T3, and outlet pipe has thermometer named T4. Okay, this one is T1, this one is T2, the further one is T3, and towards me is T4. So there are 4 thermometers basically in this experiment, T1 and T2 for measuring the transport of heat, and for T3 and T4 you can say is measuring the amount, measuring the change in temperature of water, of inlet water and outlet water. Okay, so next, so these are the actually complete setup which you will be using for performing this experiment. First one is steam generator. There will be a metallic you can say bucket in which you will pour some water, half filled it, you will put this in hot plate, you will insert a tube into this end, and you will give it to the steam chamber. You will be requiring 4 thermometers, stopwatch to find the rate of flow of water, a vernier caliper to find the distance between these two thermometers T1 and T2, and of course the area of cross section for the rod. A beaker and a graduated cylinder to measure the mass of the water, the volume of the water collected, okay, during thermal equilibrium, and a water reservoir to provide the flow of rate of water during the experiment. तो एक छोटा सा क्लिप है, इसमें दिखा रखा है कैसे बनता है. So there is a steam chamber. You will start heating this steam chamber. Steam will start escaping from this steam chamber. And yes, this is our specimen copper rod, cylindrical rod of copper. These are two thermometers T1 and T2, and the distance between these two thermometers which I measure is D. There are another copper tube circulated around this cylindrical rod for cooling on side B, and T3 and T4 are the temperatures on the thermometer for inlet water and outlet water. Okay, water, we will start dripping water into this tube, and this water will escape out after absorbing some heat. This is inlet for water, outlet for water. This is your steam chamber. We will connect this steam chamber with our this steam chamber. Okay, and the steam will circulate around this rod. Steam will continuously circulate around this side of rod, A side of rod, and it will start heating this side of rod, and heat transfer will take place from my left to my right. Okay, and of course to decrease the dissipation of heat energy to the surroundings, this whole apparatus is being encapsulated by wool. Okay, you can now you can realize this much thing is in this particular box. Okay, यहाँ पर स्टीम चैम्बर होगा, यहाँ पर रोड होगी, उस रोड में T1 और T2 थर्मोमीटर्स लगा रखे हैं. उस रोड के दूसरे एंड पे एक कोएक्सियल हेलिकल ट्यूब होगी, और उस ट्यूब में वाटर इनलेट और वाटर आउटलेट की जगह होगी. Okay. Yes. And for this we will be using this water reservoir and water leveler, and from this water leveler we will allow the water to drip into this water inlet and circulate around this end B, and then we can measure the amount of water flowed. Okay, the total amount of water, total volume of water which is being flowing through this tube during thermal equilibrium, at the point of thermal equilibrium, and we can measure the mass of this water flowing with the help of stopwatch. We can measure the flow rate with the help of total mass collected and stopwatch. This is another you can say inside of this Thales apparatus, steam chamber. This steam chamber can be of any form, but in this case in our lab we have a cylindrical shape only. A steam chamber, this steam chamber, steam will in from this point, steam will out from this point, and steam will heat this point A, and heat will transfer, and then we are taking out this heat with the help of this water inlet and water outlet. Okay, this is your complete setup. You can see this is your steam generator, this is your Thales kit, and this is arrangement for your water flow. Water will be inletted from this point, and water can be outletted from this point, and from this tube you will be calculating. This tube will be inserted directly into a graduated cylinder, and from this tube you can calculate the amount of water flow, the rate of flow of water from this Thales kit. ये इसका फोटो है. ओके, फॉर्मूला यूज मैंने आपको बता दिया है, ये सेम फॉर्मूला है, बट ये कहाँ से आया है, कैसे आया है, बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, आपको समझ में आना चाहिए. वाइवा में पूछूंगा मैं आपसे. ओके, प्रोसीजर सिंपल है. इंसर्ट द T1 and T2 thermometer in rod through the holes. Half fill steam generator with water and start heating it. Temperature will start rising in thermometer 1 and thermometer 2. Now start cold water flow and place T3 and T4 thermometer. Okay. Wait till temperature in all the thermometers become stationary. That means you are basically waiting for the steady state achievement, for the thermal equilibrium achievement. Now at point of thermal equilibrium, you have to collect the water flowing out from that outlet water. You have to measure that outlet water in a clean dry measuring cylinder or in dry beaker. Depending on the flow of water, you can use either graduated cylinder or you can use a beaker. Measure the volume of water in graduated cylinder and then repeat this process 3 times. And after that, change the rate of flow. Change the rate of flow of water. You can actually change the rate of flow, okay, which is flowing through this Searles apparatus. उस पे छोटा सा टैप टाइप का है. If you उसको rotate करोगे, so that can change the rate of flow of water through this Searles circuit. And of course, you have to measure the radius of diameter. You have to measure the diameter of rod AB and the distance between thermometer T1 and T2. But practically, this step should be the first step, because अगर आपने सारा experiment कर लिया है, now the temperature of that rod is high. High means 70 degree, 75 degree होगा. तो उसके बाद पूरा experiment करने के बाद you cannot touch that rod. Okay. So this step should be the first step in your procedure. ये गलत है. This should be the first step. जब आपने experiment start नहीं किया है, heating start नहीं किया है, आप उसी टाइम पे उसका डायमीटर वर्नियर कैलिपर से देख लीजिए एंड उसका डिस्टेंस बिटवीन थर्मोमीटर T1 एंड T2 भी वर्नियर कैलिपर से देख लीजिए. उसके बाद उसको हीट करना शुरू कीजिए. ओके. तो ऑब्जर्वेशन टेबल विल लुक लाइक दिस. इसको मैं डिस्कस करूंगा ऑब्जर्वेशन टेबल आपको कैसे बनानी है. ओके. एंड दिस विल बी द लिंक टू द वेबसाइट from where you can take the observations, which I will come to this later. So about observation table, I will tell you how you have to make this observation table. Okay, so first of all, you have to find distance between two thermometers T1 and T2. Okay, लिखना है वर्नियर कैलिपर से जब लेंगे तो मेन स्केल रीडिंग क्या थी, वर्नियर स्केल रीडिंग क्या थी एंड उसकी टोटल रीडिंग क्या है. 3 सेट होंगे, 3 बार एटलीस्ट लेना है वो अलग अलग एंगल से. ओके. And you have to take the average of all these 3 and that will give you the D, that is distance between T1 and T2. Similarly, you have to find.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes,
सर ये डिस्टेंस चेंज रहेगा ना?
क्या आएगा?
सर आपने ये अभी क्या बोला कि डिफरेंट एंगल से लेने को अगर वापस करना,
हाँ,
वो अगर वापस कर दो मतलब क्या हुआ?
नहीं देखो, 2 पॉइंट्स के बीच में डिस्टेंस है. ओके. ये आप जब डिस्टेंस मेजर करते हो तो वर्नियर कैलिपर से एक्यूरेसी के लिए आप इसी डिस्टेंस को एक बार मेजर किया आपने, सपोज आ गया ये 10.52 सेंटीमीटर. ओके. ओके. दूसरी बार आपने वर्नियर कैलिपर को वापस 0 पे ले आए, उसके बाद आपने दोबारा किसी स्लाइटली डिफरेंट एंगल पे ओके डिस्टेंस मेजर किया, वो आ गया आपका 10.53 और 53. तो इसका एक्चुअली क्या मीनिंग है मेरा कहने का, क्यों बार बार करना है, अलग अलग ऑब्जर्वेशंस लेने हैं, क्योंकि ये स्लाइटली अगर के यू कैन सी इज डायरेक्टली प्रोपोर्शनल, सॉरी इनवर्सली प्रोपोर्शनल टू द डी. A very slight change in this D can affect your K significantly. Okay. To increase the accuracy of your experiment, you always have to find the values of these parameters. Either it is D or it will be a area of cross section. These value actually you have to find very precisely. That's why I am saying take a single reading 3 times. Okay. If it is coming same, then it is fine. Then it is not a problem. Then in next step we have to find diameter of rod. Again, you will be doing same thing, MSR, PSR, and total reading for this diameter. Okay. And you will be finding मेन स्केल रीडिंग भाई है, मैकेनिक्स में नहीं पढ़ के आए वर्नियर कैलिपर, मेन स्केल रीडिंग और वर्नियर स्केल रीडिंग।
ओके ओके सर,
है ना। इस डायमीटर इस रोड का लेने का क्या तरीका है? सपोज दिस इज योर रोड, so this rod, suppose at this point, this diameter of this rod is, let's say, D. Now at this point, diameter of rod is slightly less than or greater than D. Okay, and at this point also, the diameter of this rod can be slightly changed. So what you can do is, you can take these diameters of this rod at some three different points, at least 3 different points, and then you can take the average of that diameter. Then you can find radius, and then you can find area of cross section of this rod. So these two first observations are quite simple. After that, for third, what you have to see, now you have to start the heat, and you have to measure the temperature on all the 4 thermometers. Okay, 0 minutes पे सबकी वैल्यू देख ली, 3 मिनट्स पे देख ली, 6 पे देख ली, 9 पे देख ली, 12 पे देख ली, ऐसे हर थर्मोमीटर की रीडिंग देखते रहे। जैसे ये 45 हो गया, लेट्स से ये 42 है इस पॉइंट पे, ये 30 है, ये 32 है, देन दे विल स्टार्ट इंक्रीजिंग। एट 6 मिनट्स इट विल बी 48, it will be 45, it should remain 30 only, and let's say it is 33, so they will start increasing. So but let's say at 36 minute, after 36 minute, this value is 75, this value is, let's say, 60, this again is 30, and this is around 40. Okay, let's say कि at 36 minutes ऐसा कुछ ऑब्जर्वेशन आया है चारों थर्मोमीटर्स में। 39 मिनट में भी सेम ऑब्जर्वेशन आया है, एंड 42 मिनट्स में भी सेम ऑब्जर्वेशंस आया है। दैट मींस this part of observation table tells you that actually you have achieved the thermal equilibrium now. The temperature on all the 4 thermometers are remaining constant with respect to time. So from whole of this table, the only thing which you will be taking to your calculation will be these temperatures, T1, T2, T3 and T4. Okay, these will be the temperature T1, T2, T3, T4 which you will be using in the formula. At this point, that is at the point of thermal equilibrium, you will start measuring the mass of the water collected, mass of the outlet water collected with respect to time. Let's say 1 minute में, in 1 minute you have collected 15 ml of water, in 2 minutes you have collected 28 ml of water. वो वाटर कंटिन्यूसली ड्रिप हो रहा है, उसमें से ग्रेजुएटेड सिलेंडर में आ रहा है, और आप हर स्टॉप वॉच की हेल्प से आप हर 1 मिनट के बाद उसमें देखा आपने कितना वाटर कलेक्ट हो गया, 2 मिनट के बाद देखा आपने इतना वाटर कलेक्ट हो गया, 3 मिनट के बाद देखा आपने सपोज इतना वाटर कलेक्ट हो गया, 4 मिनट के बाद देखा आपने सपोज इतना वाटर हुआ, 5 मिनट के बाद देखा आपने लेट्स से आपका इतना वाटर हुआ। ओके, सो देयर विल बी दिस टेबल, and you can plot this table. This will be your mass, this will be your time, and you will plot this graph. 1 2 3 4 5 पॉइंट्स आपके पास आ गए, टाइम वर्सेस मास वर्सेस टाइम के। सो यू कैन टेक स्लोप ऑफ दिस कर्व, and the slope of this curve will give you the quantity m by t. Okay, so now you have, from all this procedure, what you have is, you have m by t from this graph, you have t1, t2, t3, t4 from the observation table of steady state, you have a, you have d from the measurement of vernier caliper. Okay, and you have specific heat, that is 1, specific heat of water S, that is 1. So with all these parameters you can simply find the value of K, that will be m by t S T3 minus T4, D A and T1 minus T2. Okay, you can simplify this much. Okay, now how to take these observations. Okay, टेबल ऐसे ऐसे बनाना है, अब आपको पता चल गया। यहाँ से स्टार्ट होगा आपका फर्स्ट डिस्टेंस बिटवीन T1 T2, डायमीटर ऑफ रोड, फिर स्टडी स्टेट का टेबल, स्टडी स्टेट का ऑब्जर्वेशन टेबल, और फिर उसके बाद मास कलेक्टेड का मास कलेक्शन का टेबल, और साथ में उसका ग्राफ, उस ग्राफ से आपको स्लोप निकालना है। These observation points will be provided by me. Okay, तो इन जनरल क्या होता था कि स्टूडेंट अगर ऑफलाइन मोड में काम करता था तो उसमें कुछ ऑब्जर्वेशन में लेते वक्त या कोई एक्सपेरिमेंटल एरर आ जाता था, इसकी वजह से हम क्या करते थे, रफ नोटबुक पे ऑब्जर्वेशन लेते हैं सभी, है ना, और उस रफ नोटबुक पे फिर आप शाम को जाते हो, मतलब लास्ट में जाते हो, दिखा के जाते थे हमें, अगर वो ऑब्जर्वेशन सही है, उनका रिजल्ट सही आ रहा है, तो उसके बाद आप फाइल पे लिखते थे उसको। ऐसा इन जनरल ऑफलाइन मोड में होता था। बट अभी ये ऑब्जर्वेशंस मैंने ही आपको दिया है, इनसे अगर आपको ऑब्जर्वेशन लेके कैलकुलेशन सही से करोगे तो ऑफ कोर्स रिजल्ट सही आएगा। तो रफ नोटबुक पे करने का भी फायदा नहीं है, वो जस्ट टाइम वेस्ट है। तो डायरेक्टली यू कैन डू these, directly you can note down these observations on your notebook and you can calculate your parameters. Okay, so for calculating, for observing, for taking observation, I will send you the link of this website. This is a simple Google website. Okay, I will send you the link of this website. अभी मत खोलना, पहले मैं बताऊंगा, उसके बाद इस पर क्लिक करना। ओके, so you can see this experiment has just simple home page. All the experiments are written, the aim of all the experiments are written, and in the cells experiment you can see there are various tabs. Okay, you can click on these tabs and you have to study this. तो इंट्रोडक्शन जो मैंने अभी भी बताया आपको, इंट्रोडक्शन क्या है इस एक्सपेरिमेंट का, कैसे कोफिशिएंट ऑफ थर्मल कंडक्टिविटी आप निकालेंगे, वो सब के बारे में थोड़ा सा लिखा है, और फिर उसका एक वो फोटो लगाया हुआ है कि लैब में ऐसा एक्सपेरिमेंट सेटअप आपका। एक्सपेरिमेंटल सेटअप को थोड़ा सा एक्सप्लेन कर रखा है कि इस एक्सपेरिमेंटल सेटअप में क्या है एक्चुअली, अंदर कैसे है, उसको अंदर से इनसाइड व्यू है उसका। ओके, फॉर्मूला यूज्ड मैंने एक्सप्लेन किया आपको अभी कि ये फॉर्मूला यहाँ से कैसे आया है। सभी सीजीएस यूनिट में है, सभी सीजीएस यूनिट में है, कैलोरी है, ग्राम है, सेकंड है, वो है पर सेंटीग्रेड है, और जो आपका यूनिट्स आएंगी वो सेंटीमीटर में लेना है, डिस्टेंस बिटवीन टू थर्मोमीटर्स का भी और एरिया ऑफ क्रॉस सेक्शन का भी, वो भी सेंटीमीटर में ही रखना है, मीटर में चेंज नहीं करना है। मास ग्राम में रखना है, ठीक है, टाइम सेकंड में रखना है, बेसिकली सीजीएस यूनिट यूज करना है। ओके, एंड नेक्स्ट इज योर, ओके, ये 2 स्लाइड्स थी, एनिमेशन है, बट आई थिंक अभी आपको इसका आइडिया है तो इतना देखने का जरूरत नहीं है, बट देख सकते हैं आप इसके लिए बात, है ना, कि मींस कैसे हीट एनर्जी इज बीइंग ट्रांसफर्ड फ्रॉम दिस प्लेस 1 टू प्लेस 2। ओके, इसका एनिमेशन मैंने बनाया था एक ऐसे ही, तो इसको देख सकते हैं। ये क्लास वर्क है आपका, बात करिए, प्रोसीजर लिखा हुआ है कैसे कैसे करना है, ऑफ कोर्स आपको कॉपी पे भी लिखना होगा। ये प्रोसीजर, इसको पढ़ोगे तो समझ में आ जाएगा, जो मैंने अभी बताया है वैसा ही है। ऑब्जर्वेशंस है, ऑब्जर्वेशन टेबल जो इसमें दिया हुआ है उसको यूज करना मत, जो मैंने ऑब्जर्वेशन टेबल बनाया के दिया है वैसे ही ऑब्जर्वेशन टेबल बनाना है। ओके, सो दिस विल बी योर वर्चुअल लैब। तो इसमें क्या है कि आप क्लिक करेंगे, फर्स्ट स्टेप यू हैव टू फाइंड द डिस्टेंस बिटवीन टू थर्मोमीटर्स T1 and T2, so you can click on any batch, okay, but you have to keep in mind on from which batch I have taken the observation, वो आपसे पूछेंगे बाद में, हाँ हम कौन से बैच से लिया था। लेट्स से आपने मेजर बैच 3 से लिया, तो यू वांट टू मेजर डिस्टेंस बिटवीन थर्मोमीटर T1 and T2, so it will open a new page and this page will show you this is the observation for distance between thermometers T1 and T2, and you can start taking observation. If you click on this drop down menu and if you select one, then on pressing next, it will show you the main scale reading is, let's say, 10.40 centimeter and vernier scale division is 5. So you have to make yourself the total reading from this, and similarly there will be 3 different observations, and you have to take the mean value of this all these observations, and that will give you the parameter D. Similarly, for calculating the diameter of rod, you can click on any batch, but if you have clicked on batch 3 here, then also you have to click batch 3 at this particular observation. Okay, इसमें भी फिर ऐसा ही आएगा. This is the diameter of metallic rod. 1 पे क्लिक किया, नेक्स्ट किया, उसने मेन स्केल रीडिंग और वर्नियर स्केल रीडिंग दे दी. इससे टोटल रीडिंग बना लो. ऐसे ही सेकंड टोटल रीडिंग बन जाएगी, 3 भी आ जाएगा, उसका एवरेज ले लेना, उससे रेडियस निकाल लो, एंड देन यू कैन find the area of cross section. Then after this, third step is you have to start the steam and measure temperature on all the thermometers. Okay, so again you can select any batch, and this process basically is steady state temperature achievement. So you have to take readings of all the 4 thermometers at different time intervals. लैब में भी ऐसे ही करते थे, आप स्टॉप वॉच लेके बैठ जाते थे, हीटिंग स्टार्ट कर देते थे. ओके, और उसके बाद हर कुछ पर्टिकुलर अमाउंट के हर पर्टिकुलर इंटरवल पे यू टेक द ऑब्जर्वेशन फ्रॉम ऑल द थर्मोमीटर्स. तो लेट्स से आपने 0 मिनट पे लिया, 3 मिनट्स पे लिया, 3 मिनट्स पे आपने लिया, द टेम्परेचर ऑन दीज थर्मोमीटर्स ऑन दीज 4 थर्मोमीटर्स आर T1, T2, T3, T4. ओके, ये टेबल बनानी है, ऑब्जर्वेशन टेबल बनानी है. ओके, पेन से बनाना है सब कुछ, पेंसिल से कुछ नहीं लिखना है. इस टेबल की टेबल होनी चाहिए. ये मींस पिछले ग्रुप में बच्चों ने जस्ट इसको फ्री हैंड से लिख दिया कि 3 मिनट के सामने लिख दिया T1, T2, T3. ऐसे नहीं है, टेबल होनी चाहिए वो बेसिकली. फिर ये 6 मिनट पे दोबारा उस टेबल में एंट्री करोगे, फिर 9 मिनट्स पे एंट्री करोगे, 12 मिनट, 15 मिनट. You can see the temperature on thermometer 1 is rising with respect to time, as well as T2 is also rising, T3, T4 are also rising. So after a certain amount of time, this will start. Let's say at 33 minutes, this is 87.5, this is 78.5. Okay, again it increased from to 88. Okay, at 36 and 39 it is remaining same, and at 42 also it is remaining same. So you can say the last unit, the last reading, this reading is now, this particular temperature is now steady for last 9 minutes. Okay, as your interval is 3 minutes, and this particular observation is constant for last 3 observation sets. So yes, these are the temperature of thermometers at steady state. So your T1, T2, T3, T4 value should be these. Okay, so last part of this experiment, at this thermal equilibrium point, you have to measure at steady state, you have to measure the flow rate of water. Now you will insert the beaker below this outlet water, and you will start measuring the water. In 1 minute कितना water collect किया है, measuring cylinder में देख लीजिएगा, 14 ml किया है. 2 minutes में कितना किया है, 30 ml किया है. 3 minutes में कितना किया है, 46 ml किया है. तो इसकी एक टेबल बन जाएगी. 4 मिनट पे किया होगा, 5 मिनट पे किया होगा, इतना ही काफी होता है. 5 पॉइंट्स आपके पास आ गए, उन 5 पॉइंट से ग्राफ ड्रॉ कीजिए. ओके, उस ग्राफ को स्लोप निकालिए, दैट स्लोप विल गिव यू m/t. Okay, so this page will give you all the required observations of D, of A, of T1, T2, T3, T4 and m/t respectively. Okay, लास्ट में इसमें कैलकुलेटर दे रखा है, अगर यूज करना है कुछ आगे एक्सपेरिमेंट्स में कुछ काम आएगा, इसमें से कर सकते हो, नहीं तो अपने फोन से कर सकते हो या अपने लैपटॉप से. The last part of this section is your calculation and results. For this, जब आपने कॉपी पे काम कर लिया है, सारी ऑब्जर्वेशन टेबल बना ली है, कैलकुलेशंस कर लिया है, रिजल्ट निकाल लाए हो, के क्या वैल्यू निकाल लिया है, then you have to click on this button, enter all your observations and result. When you click on this, it will start asking you the credentials like your email ID, course name, your group name, your name, roll number and batch number. Batch number means जिस बैच से आपने D और A का वैल्यू कैलकुलेट किया था, एंड स्टडी स्टेट का भी जो कैलकुलेट किया था तो कोमा लगा लगा के लिख देना उसको. Then it will ask for your calculations, the mean distance you have calculated between T1 and T2. Then the average area of cross section of copper rod. Okay, you can type in these points in these lines. Then you have to write temperature of all the thermometers at steady state, and then you have to enter the slope of m by t curve. Okay, when you insert all the numerical values into this and you have calculated all this, then you have to insert the value of the result. The thermal conductivity of K found experimentally of a good conductor is this much. वो भी आपको टाइप करना है. ये मैंने रैंडम टाइप किया हुआ है, बट आपको इसमें ओरिजिनल वैल्यूज अपने अपने एक्सपेरिमेंट्स के जो उसकी जो आएंगी वो टाइप करना है. Okay, next you have to take the picture of this observation table. You can take 2 or 3 pictures. Okay, अलग अलग पेजेस की, अगर 2 पेज है, 2 पेज में आई है आपकी ऑब्जर्वेशन या 3 पेज में आई है, अलग अलग पिक्चर्स कर सकते हैं. एंड देन you have to upload this file. Either you can club all these pictures in a PDF file and you can insert a single PDF file. Okay, this add file option will open your gallery. You can either insert pictures or you can insert PDF. This tab can take both type of files. Either it is picture or it is PDF, it can take. Okay. Then you will submit it. Okay, after submitting it, I can see these result and calculation submitted from my end. Okay. From this website I can see from my end which students have submitted their results. Let's see the numerical values of the K found. Okay, so I think this was all about this Schulze apparatus and the methodology used to find the thermal coefficient of a good conductor using this Schulze apparatus. Okay.